Joining us now, former Trump White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, Fox News contributor Kellyanne Conway. Good to see you both. Kellyanne, I would spend more time on this signal issue, but it's such a non-issue. I don't even think it's worth talking about at this point.
Here's what's worth talking about. President Trump has his highest approval rating ever, Sean, because he's earned it, and the media has its lowest approval rating ever because they've earned it. And this is Exhibit A as to why that is. Taking a simple human mistake and making it the biggest story in the world because they don't want President Trump to be there. They don't want the people around him to be there. They do what they can not to support and defend America and its office of the president and its national security team, but they're there not to support and defend, but to search and destroy. And who is the they? Jeffrey Goldberg, registered Democrat. His wife, registered Democrat, worked for Hillary Clinton, Democratic donor. Also, this American Oversight Group, I looked at them. It took me 3 seconds to realize this nonpartisan group is not nonpartisan at all. It is filled, teeming with Democratic operatives, people who worked on the House Democratic Budget Committee, people who worked for Dianne Feinstein. That's fine, but stop masquerading as some ethics watchdog group that's going to bring justice and light to whatever happened here in a perfectly legal, non-consequential group chat where somebody was inadvertently added. Now, this country is about results. You know why we know that? Because Donald Trump just had a historic election, Sean and Mark, and they want results. They want production, not process. Here were the results. Joe Biden delisted the Houthis from the Forest Terrorist Organization list. Donald Trump put them back on. Because Joe Biden did that, he enabled, enriched, and empowered Iran and the Houthis, a terrorist group. And the result was in 2023 alone on Biden's watch, our Navy warships were attacked 174 times. And then 145 times there was interruption by these pirates, these terrorists, such that 75% of our U.S. flagged ships could not make it through a regular passage in the Suez Canal, had to go through Africa. And by the way, that has all changed now because of President Trump and because of this national security team making the decision that they did. They took out senior leaders of the Houthis, again now a foreign terrorist organization. Thank you, Commander-in-Chief Trump. And we also know that we're going to have safer and more efficient travel through for our shipping on these high seas. Wake me up and call me when Pete Hegseth, our Secretary of Defense, does what Lloyd Austin did, which has ambulance comes to his house. They try to scrub it from the public record. He goes under anesthesia. We have no leadership at the Pentagon. The Commander-in-Chief Biden doesn't even know his Secretary of Defense is ill, hospitalized, and under anesthesia so that the Deputy Secretary can take over. No one knew where he was. Wake me up when we have a Commander-in-Chief again like Joe Biden, who the most energy he exerted that day was to look at his watch while the families of 13 fallen service members who died because of Joe Biden's reckless, feckless decision there.
Well, I can add
Sean,
to that.
Wake me up when that happens.
Mark, they had an intentional policy, and their policy was wide open borders. And as a result, they allowed in known terrorists, murderers, rapists, cartel members, gang members. Tell me the bigger mistake, because in the case of this one inadvertent, insignificant case of Signal, okay, nobody died. The mission was a complete success. Lesson learned, move on. But the Biden administration institutionalized allowing unvetted people in this country. They murdered dozens and dozens of Americans. I've scrolled their names. They raped dozens and dozens of Americans. Other thousands of Americans were victims of violent crime. You tell me, what is the bigger mistake here? And these people that feign outrage now, where were they then? Where were the Democrats? Why didn't they stand for the mother of Laken Riley or the mother of little Alexis Nungary or Jocelyn Nungary? Alexis is the mom.
Listen, Sean, when you start to look at what has happened, the Democrats are in no position to lecture anybody on national security. You covered it in your monologue. It's not just about the southern border, though. When you look at what they've allowed to happen and to be complicit in it, and yes, I use that word intentionally, to be complicit, they're in no position to lecture President Trump, Secretary Hegseth, or anyone else that was involved in this particular as Kellyanne pointed out, successful mission. Here's what I do know is when we talk about a mission that was taking place almost 4 years ago now, a failed mission under President Biden, what happened, it was a conscious decision based on intel that they had to actually put Americans in harm's way. What happened? 13 Americans lost their lives. On this particular mission, what do we know? Terrorists lost their lives. Americans are safer today because of Donald Trump and the actions that are here. Listen, when we start to focus on this, the outrage that we saw on Capitol Hill by some of the Democrat senators and House members, where were their voices a few years ago? It is time that they quit this hypocrisy in trying to blame President Trump for what honestly was a successful mission. There will be more to come, and Americans are safer today because of it.
Let them keep up their temper tantrums. Let them hold up their bingo cards. Let them not stand for grieving mothers that lost their children because of their policies. Don't stand for young men that beat cancer. Don't stand for the wife of a slain hero officer. Just sit on your hands. Don't stand for the First Lady, and stand up for men's rights to play women's sports. Stand up for the rights of illegals, including gang members, to stay in the country over the safety of Americans. You just stand up for the hundreds of billions in waste, fraud, and abuse. And let AOC run that party. She's doing a great job. Her and Jasmine Crockett are my two favorite Democrats. They lead the party. All right. Thank you both. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.